between Windows 10 and Windows 11, which of them should I go for?
Hi guys, you're welcome to Super Tech Hall, and today we'll be educating our customers. Now pay attention, we don't just sell systems, we don't just sell devices, right? We actually educate our customers on how to actually use them, and we don't want to have an ignorant customer, except you want to be one. Okay, so let's get to the point. Now, today we'll be looking at operating systems. A customer asked me, between Windows 10 and Windows 11, which one should I go for? I'm going to be explaining everything so that you know what to go for, why you should actually go for it, and the rest of them, right? Now, let's go there. So, we have this particular page, a website that is sponsored by Super. So, can you please start for Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so let's go there. So we'll be talking about an operating system, what it is, and the rest of them, right? So let's start learning, right? Yeah. So what is an operating system? An operating system is, think of it as the super smart manager of your device. Okay, it's a smart manager of your device. So just like in a school, the school principal manages the teachers, students, classrooms. So an OS, an operating system, manages all the parts of your computer or phone to make sure everything runs smoothly. So it controls your screen, your keyboard, your camera, and other parts. So let's look at it as this way. The OS, they are a set of instruction codes. Now these instruction codes are actually responsible to manage the communication between the hardware and the software. Are you getting me? The hardware are your monitors, your keyboard, your screen, your camera, and the rest of them. So they actually are the ones that actually control how these things behave, right? Yeah. So now let's look at how it works. So this guy, the OS runs your application, saves your files, your stuffs. Okay. Let's see, how does this thing work? So the user gives commands like clicking and typing and tapping and the rest of them. Then the OS understands your commands and tells the hardware what to do, okay, in response to what you have actually given. Then the hardware is the physical parts like your screen, speakers, and memory that do the work, right? Yeah. So now let's also go down. Let's go down. We have types of operating system. Types of operating system. We have the Windows, we have the Linux, we have the macOS, that's the Apple for systems, MacBooks, right? MacBooks and iMacs. We have the Android for phones, and we have the iOS. Okay, so let's look at these guys, because the customer asked me a question. It was like, hey, Super, which one should I go for? Should I go for a Windows 10 or Windows 11? Should I go for a Windows 10 or Windows 11? Which one should I go for? And according to how he was actually reacting, it was obvious that he didn't know about this. So I just brought it to all of us to know, right? Now, Windows operating system. Let's look at Windows first. So now, Windows is made by Microsoft and used by millions of people around the world. You can play games and the rest of them. Now let me give you more information on this Windows. Windows is a graphic user interface operating system, and it allows multi-users. So on your Windows, you can actually create more accounts. Let's say control panel. You can create more user accounts on your Windows. Okay, you can create more user accounts on your Windows, so multi-persons can be using one system. You get my point? Yeah. So that kind of thing. So let's continue. So in addition to that, Windows, the more technology grows, the more you have more things that these developers like Microsoft actually involve into the system or their softwares. Okay, so let's say for instance they find that there is a breach, or there is an open space where hackers can actually penetrate into your system. They block it and produce a recent version of operating system. Let's say there is a new development, let's say fingerprints and face detection that actually is needed to actually make your system work well. Okay, so what are they going to do? They will create a recent version. I get me. So Windows 11 and Windows 10, they are quite new. They are the newer versions now. Get my point here. So you can actually install any of them. They actually work based on your system. Check your system configuration if it's something that your system can actually accept and work with your system, and also check if the operating system can allow the functionality, the entirety of your system functionality. Okay, the holistic functionality of your system. So if Windows 10, because most systems can function on Windows 10 and 11, okay, back or older versions are like the Windows 11, Windows 2000, Windows Vista, Windows 8, Windows 8.1, Windows 7, those are very old versions, right? Yeah, so, but the recent ones are the Windows 10 and Windows 11, which to an extent, Windows 11 is more recent and is recommended, right? But as it stands now, your Windows 10 can still function very much well. Are you getting me? Yes, it can function very much well on your system. Okay, without you having any hinges, depending on the system specifications, right? Okay, so then the next thing is a Mac. The Mac runs on Apple computers. It's known for being smooth, great for creative work like making music, art, and videos, right? Okay, so we have the Linux. This one is for mostly cool programmers and the rest of them. Linux is completely free, and then you can see how it works. It powers most of the internet servers and it's loved by people who like to customize everything. That's Linux for you. Okay, then we have the Android for your phones. Okay, it's made by Google and runs on Samsung. Wow, you didn't know that Android is made by Google. Now you have learned that now. Android is actually from Google and it runs on Samsung, Xiaomi, and many other brands. Okay, you can download millions of apps from your Play Store, right? Then we have the iOS. This iOS is made by Apple and only runs on iPhones. And who can tell me the meaning of iOS? Let me educate you. Internet operating system. Internet operating system. So if you say I have an iPhone, it means I have an internet phone. You get my point, because it's internet based. Then how does an OS works, right? So click the button below to see what happens inside your device. So let's click one button. Okay, so we want to see how the OS works, right? So we are clicking this button now. You tap the icon. OS finds the app in the storage. Okay, OS loads app into memory. CPU starts running the app. Apps appears on your screen. Okay, app opens successfully. You see how the OS always manages all this. OS finds the app in the storage. The operating system loads the app and the CPU starts running. Then what of saving a file? Okay, you see. You click on save, OS gets your file data, OS finds a place in storage, OS writes, you see, these are the things that OS send to play music and the rest of them. Okay, so let's look at laptop versus phone OS. Let's see how they are different and similar. Okay, now make sure you are following this page. Make sure you are following this page because more of this will be coming at every interval. Make sure you are following this page. Share it to your brothers, your sisters who you want them to be tech savvy. Actually share this page to them, right? So now let's go there. So have laptop, OS, phones. So use your mouse and keyboard, but here you use touch screen. Okay, then big screen for more work, fit on your pockets. Okay, these are different. This you already know this, right? That's good. Then what they have in common, they run apps, browse internet, store files, keep you safe, get updates. Now we are going to play a game to test our knowledge now with one fun activity. So quiz time is either you choose the quiz or you do drag and drop or you do match game. So which one should you do? Which one should you do? Comment on the comment section so that I'll pick one. I can actually drop video for the three of them for this particular class we've done, so you can actually see through and then enjoy for yourself. We have so many info here. Okay, these are for the next courses. In our next class we'll talk about all these ones, right?